The moment you tell everyone your dreams, you might be killing them without even knowing it. I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out. There's a very real reason why some of the biggest breakthroughs in people's lives happen in silence. You think you're sharing because you're excited, because you want people to cheer you on. But the truth? The second those words leave your mouth, something changes. Your brain starts to trick you. You feel a little rush of pride, a little hit of dopamine from the nods, and that's amazing. Comments. And without realizing it, you've already given yourself part of the reward that should have only come when you actually achieved the thing. It's like announcing you're running a marathon before you've even trained a single mile. You post it online, people clap for you, and suddenly you feel like you've already done something. But you haven't. You've just replaced action with applause. And here's the thing. Applause doesn't get you across the finish line. When you put your dreams out there too soon, you also open the door for criticism. Not everyone will understand what you're trying to do. Some will question you, some will doubt you, and some will flat out discourage you. And whether you admit it or not, those words stick. They make you second guess yourself. They drain your energy. Suddenly, your dream feels heavier to carry. I want you to think about your dream like a tiny flame. When it's just getting started, it's fragile. One gust of wind, a careless comment, a raised eyebrow, a bit of doubt can blow it out completely. But when you protect it, when you let it burn quietly, it grows stronger. It becomes unstoppable. So instead of telling everyone, tell yourself, write it down, work on it every single day in silence. Let your actions be the announcement, because when the time comes, you won't need to convince anyone you were serious. They'll see it. They'll see the results, the transformation, the proof. And trust me, that's the kind of moment that doesn't just make them clap, it makes them speechless. When you tell people your dreams too soon, you're not just giving away your plans, you're giving away your power. You're letting other people's opinions, doubts, and energy into something that's still forming inside you. And here's the problem. When something is in its early stages, it's fragile. It's not ready to handle all that outside noise. Think about planting a seed. You wouldn't dig it up every day to show people it's growing, right? That would kill it. Your dreams work exactly the same way. The moment you speak them out loud, you're inviting judgment. And sometimes the worst judgment comes from the people closest to you, not because they hate you, not because they want to see you fail, but because your dream forces them to look at their own life. And that's uncomfortable. They might say, "Are you sure?" Or "That sounds risky," or "Maybe you should be more realistic." And if you're not rock solid yet, that one comment can plant doubt like a weed in your mind. And let's be honest, doubt spreads fast. You start replaying their words over and over. You wonder if they're right. You hesitate. You slow down. That's how dreams die, not with a big crash, but with a slow fade out, because you stop believing in them as much as you did on day one. When you keep your dreams private, you're building them in a safe space. No one's questioning your timeline. No one's asking for proof. No one's telling you to be realistic. It's just you and your goal, and that is where the real magic happens. You're free to make mistakes, to pivot, to learn without an audience watching and keeping score. There's another piece to this. When you tell people your dream, your brain feels like it's already partially achieved. You get that little burst of pride from their reaction, and it tricks you. Suddenly the urgency is gone. The fire doesn't feel as hot. You slow down, because your brain has already tasted the reward. This is why so many people never follow through after announcing big plans. They already got their dopamine hit from talking about it. But when you keep it to yourself, the only reward comes from progress. Every small step you take builds momentum. You're not performing for anyone. You're doing it for you. And that pressure you might think you need from announcing it, it's nothing compared to the unstoppable drive that comes from quietly showing up for yourself day after day. I want you to picture this. You've been working behind the scenes for months, maybe years. Nobody knows what you're building. And then one day you launch. You release the book. You run the race. You open the business. People are stunned. Where did that come from? They ask. And all you have to say is, "I've been working." That moment is 10 times sweeter, because you didn't spend your energy convincing anyone. You spent it creating. Your dreams are yours for a reason. They don't need public approval to matter. They don't need a committee to decide if they're worth chasing. Protect them like you'd protect a newborn. Nurture them in private, and when they're strong enough, unleash them into the world so they can't be knocked down. Because once they're fully grown, there's no wind, no doubt, no judgment, no negativity, strong enough to blow them out. Most people think they fail because they don't have enough talent, time, or resources. But the truth, they fail because they quit too early. Success isn't about being the smartest or the most gifted. It's about staying in the game long enough to figure it out. It's about refusing to let the inevitable setbacks convince you to stop. You've probably heard this before, but I want you to really hear me now. The people you admire didn't get there because everything worked on the first try. They got there because they kept showing up when everything was screaming at them to walk away. Every big goal comes with a breaking point. That moment where you've tried, and you've got nothing to show for it. The rejection emails stack up. The business idea falls flat. The workouts aren't showing results. This is where most people throw in the towel. But here's the catch. This is also where the breakthrough is hiding. It's not in the first attempt, or the second, or even the fifth. It's in the 100th. When everyone else has gone home and you're still there, still swinging. Quitting feels easier because it's instant relief. You get to stop trying. You get to stop feeling uncomfortable. But what you're trading for that relief is the life you want. And most people don't realize the cost until years later, when they look back and wonder what could have happened if they had just held on a little longer. That's the part that will eat you alive. Knowing you had something in you, but you walked away before it had a chance to bloom. You have to understand that the road is supposed to be hard. It's designed that way. Every obstacle is there to test how badly you want it. If you fold at the first sign of resistance, the universe knows you weren't ready. But if you keep going, if you dig in when it hurts the most, you're proving to yourself that you're serious. And that belief in yourself becomes unstoppable. There's also something nobody talks about. Momentum doesn't just appear. You have to earn it. Every time you choose to keep going, instead of quitting, you're stacking bricks. You might not see the wall yet, but it's being built. One day you'll look up and realize you've created something solid, something strong enough to hold the weight of your dream. That day doesn't come if you keep starting and stopping. And listen, I get it. The middle part is brutal. In the beginning, you're fired up. You've got vision, energy, excitement. In the end, when you're winning, it's obvious why you stuck with it. But in the middle, it's messy. It's exhausting. You're putting in more than you're getting back. That's why most people give up here. But if you can learn to love the middle, to see it as the training ground for your resilience, you will separate yourself from 99% of people. You've got to decide right now. Are you the kind of person who stops when it's hard, or the kind of person who keeps going because it's hard? Your answer determines everything, because the truth is, your dream doesn't care about your excuses. The life you want doesn't wait around for you to feel ready. It's sitting out there, and it's only going to be yours if you're willing to walk through the fire to get it. Here's what I know. You are capable of more than you think. You've already survived things you didn't think you could survive. You've already pushed through days where quitting felt like the only option. So the next time you hit that wall, remember this. It's not the end. It's the test. And if you can just keep moving, one step, one day, one more try at a time, you'll look back and realize that was the moment you became unstoppable. Fear will convince you that you're not ready. It'll whisper that you need more experience, more skills, more confidence before you take the leap. And if you listen to it, you'll wait your entire life for the perfect moment, a moment that never comes. Here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. There's only now. And if you keep waiting until you feel ready, you're going to miss every opportunity that could have changed your life. The people who succeed aren't fearless. They feel it, just like you. Their heart races, their stomach flips, their brain fires off every possible what-if scenario. The difference? They move anyway. They've learned that fear isn't a stop sign. It's a green light. It means you're about to do something that matters. That shaking in your hands, that's the energy of growth. That knot in your stomach, that's the edge of your comfort zone. And the only way past it is through. Here's what nobody tells you. Fear doesn't go away before you start. It goes away after you start. Action is the antidote. The second you take that first step, you're already proving to yourself that you can handle more than you think.
Yeah.
And every step after that, no matter how small, builds your courage. You don't become confident and then act. You act, and that's how you become confident. Think about the last time you did something that scared you. Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it was telling someone how you really felt. Maybe it was signing up for something you didn't feel qualified for. In the moment, it felt terrifying. But once you did it, you realized you didn't die. You survived. And not only did you survive, you grew. That's the pattern you have to repeat. Fear's job is to keep you safe, but it doesn't know the difference between danger and discomfort. That's why your brain reacts to sending a risky email, the same way it would react to running from a bear. You've got to override that system by deciding that discomfort is not a threat. In fact, discomfort is proof you're moving towards something worth having. Every time you choose fear over comfort, you're building a life on your terms. You're refusing to be controlled by that voice in your head that tells you to play small. And here's the magic. The more you do it, the quieter that voice gets. Eventually, fear becomes just background noise, and your courage becomes the main soundtrack. I know you're scared. I know your mind is screaming at you to play it safe, but safe doesn't change your life. Safe keeps you exactly where you are. So take the risk, send the message, make the call, step onto the stage, jump, even if your legs are shaking, because fear will always be there, but so will the chance to create the life you've been dreaming of. And that chance is worth everything. You think the gap between where you are and where you want to be is too big. You tell yourself you'll start when you have more time, when the conditions are right, when you've figured it all out. But here's the secret. Nobody ever figures it all out before they start. The people you look up to, they began with shaky hands, messy plans, and zero guarantees. They didn't wait for perfect. They started with what they had, exactly where they were, and they built as they went. Progress isn't made in giant leaps. It's made in small, unglamorous, consistent steps that stack up over time. The problem is, most people underestimate how powerful those small steps are. They want the big win, the dramatic moment, the overnight success story. But that's not how life works. Life rewards the ones who show up daily, even when it's boring, even when they don't feel like it, even when no one is watching. Every time you take a small step, you are building momentum, and momentum is the magic you've been looking for. Once you get moving, everything changes. You stop overthinking and start doing. You stop waiting for motivation and start relying on discipline. You start proving to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. And that trust, that's how you start believing in yourself again. We think success is about talent or luck, but it's really about habits. The habits you choose every day determine whether you're building the life you want or drifting further from it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, the habits you build don't have to be huge to be powerful. Write for 10 minutes a day. Make one important phone call. Take a 5-minute walk. Read 2 pages of a book. Those small actions may not feel like much in the moment, but over weeks, months, and years, they transform everything. The danger is thinking that if you can't do it all, it's not worth doing at all. That's the trap that keeps you stuck. Stop thinking about the 100 steps ahead. Just take the one step in front of you, and then the next, and then the next. This is how you bridge the gap, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by moving forward in imperfect ones. When you choose small, consistent action over waiting for perfect, you're training yourself to win. You're proving to your brain that you can create change, no matter how slow it feels at first. And that's the thing. Slow progress is still progress. The pace doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're still going, because as long as you're still going, you're still in the game. So stop staring at the gap and start stepping into it. Use what you have. Do what you can. Begin where you are. Your future self isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. They're waiting for the you who decided to start today, even without all the answers. And the moment you make that decision, the gap starts to close. Most people waste years of their life holding back, because they're afraid of how it might look if they fail. They think, what if I try and it doesn't work? What will people say? How will I feel? But here's the truth. The only thing worse than failing is never even giving yourself a chance. You can recover from failure. You can learn from it, grow from it, and come back stronger. but you can't recover from regret. Regret sticks. It eats at you. It's the quiet voice that whispers, "You could have been more, but you didn't even try." The reason you're stuck isn't because you're not capable. It's because you're waiting for certainty before you take action. You want a guarantee, but life doesn't work like that. You only get clarity after you move. You only learn what works by doing. You only figure out your strength by putting yourself in situations where you have to use it. The longer you wait, the heavier the weight of inaction gets, until it's crushing you without you even realizing it. You've got to understand, your life is happening right now. Every day you delay is a day you don't get back. That's not me trying to scare you. That's reality. And the moment you start acting like your time is valuable, everything changes. You stop saying someday and start saying today. You stop worrying about perfect timing because you realize the clock is already ticking. The people who build lives they're proud of aren't the ones who had it all figured out. They're the ones who acted while they were scared. They're the ones who didn't let the fear of looking stupid outweigh the excitement of what could happen if it worked. They took the meeting. They made the call. They started the side project. They put themselves in motion. And motion creates opportunity. And you don't need to overhaul your life in one massive move. You just need to start small, but start now. That uncomfortable phone call, that first messy draft, that awkward conversation, it's all progress. You don't need to know step 50 to take step 1. And once you take step 1, step 2 reveals itself. It's only when you stay still that everything feels impossible. Here's the truth. I've learned over and over again, nothing in your life changes until you do. Not your career, not your relationships, not your health, not your bank account. The external world will keep reflecting your internal decisions. So if you want different, you have to do different. And that's a choice you can make right now, in this exact moment, without waiting for anything else to happen first. At some point, you have to stop thinking about it and just leap, because you're not going to think your way into confidence. You're going to act your way into it. You'll look back and realize that the fear that felt so big was just a wall made of paper. And once you run through it, you wonder why you waited so long to start living. There's something you need to understand. Not everyone clapping for you wants to see you win. Some people will cheer just loud enough to keep you close, but quiet enough to make sure you never outgrow them. It's a hard truth, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why you've got to be careful who you hand your dreams to. Not every ear deserves to hear them. The moment you tell certain people your plans, you give them the opportunity to plant seeds of doubt. And those seeds grow fast. One comment, one raised eyebrow, one "are you sure?" can make you question everything you've been working for. It's not that they always mean harm. Sometimes they just can't imagine more for you, because they can't imagine more for themselves. But their limitations are not your limitations. You've got to protect the fire inside you, like it's the last match you've got. One wrong gust of negativity, and it's out. That means sometimes you have to keep things close to your chest, not because you're hiding, but because you're building. You don't open the oven every 5 minutes to show people the cake. You let it rise in the dark, in the heat, until it's ready. Your dreams deserve that same protection. And here's the thing, the people who truly support you won't need every detail. They'll believe in you even without a PowerPoint presentation of your plans. They'll clap for you in the beginning, the middle, and in the messy parts. Those are the ones you keep close. The rest, you love them, but you don't give them access to the parts of you that are still growing. When you stop announcing every step and start moving in silence, you'll notice something. You'll make more progress. There's no outside noise to confuse you, no unsolicited opinions to drag you off course. Just you, your vision, and the work. And when you finally show up with the results, you won't need to explain a thing, because results speak louder than announcements, and your success will make the noise for you.